With the third pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the San Diego Chargers select Joey Bosa, defensive end, Ohio State.
Well, there you go. The first pick of the night that we did not know essentially coming into the draft. It's not an offensive lineman to protect Phillip Rivers. It's not a defensive player on the back end to supplant and fill the shoes of Eric Weddle. It's Joey Bosa.
Wow. When you think about this, understand their base defense is a 3-4 front. Most people thought Joey Bosa was going to go to a 4-3 team. Now, this is why I make 2 points about that. Number one, I've seen Bosa stand up and play in space, and he can do it. And number two, you're in your sub package 60 to 70% of the time. That's where he's going to make a difference.
John Pagano said, hey, I need a little help, okay? We got to get these scores down. They're 27th against the rush, and they need some help on defense. Maybe, Mike, they think, hey, I can go get that offensive lineman, and there should be a couple of good tackles in there early in that second round.
And my dad's a longtime defensive coordinator, coach defensive backs. You want to make the defensive backs better? Get a pass rusher. That's right. That's what they did. You get a guy who can rush the passer. We talked earlier today. Hey, great quarterback, protect the quarterback, sack the quarterback, and we'll work from there. And they got a guy that can sack the quarterback.
Highest drafted Buckeye since Orlando Pace was taken first overall at 97, Mike.
6'5", 269. His numbers are very similar to Jason Pierre-Paul. His 40-yard dash, everything else. He's a run game technician. He converts speed to power, but his playing style to me is most reminiscent of Everson Griffin of the Vikings, who had 10.5 sacks a year ago. So he's the best run game defensive end I saw in college football. Here he is on the pass. Just enough speed to threaten your outside. Look at the inside pole. That inside arm, converting speed to power. Eyes are always up. Again, now watch him in the run game. Nobody's better in college football. Comes inside, beats the right tackle. Watch this play. Comes down, he sees the wham block. He defeats the wham block, and then he whams the tailback. That is an awesome play.
With the fourth pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Ezekiel Elliott, running back, Ohio State.
Dallas Cowboys decide to put the star on the side of the helmet of somebody who had all those Buckeyes on the back of it. It's going to be Des Bryant, Tony Romo, and Ezekiel Elliott, a 21st century version of the triplets. Wow, what a piece of news. Super. Literally, we're showing you the two ends of the phone conversation. There's Rocky Arsenault, his agent. Marshall Faulk's agent for so many years now. Ezekiel Elliott's agent. What a night. Ohio State back-to-back. It goes quarterback, Buckeye. Ezekiel Elliott's going to the Metroplex.
Ezekiel Elliott, running back.
Straight ahead, and he found a hole. Elliott on the move into the end zone. Ezekiel Elliott.
2015 Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year.
Touchdown, Ezekiel Elliott of Ohio State.
Like this. So there he is. He's got the suit to match it now.
Yeah, right?
He's got the tux to match the Cowboy colors. This is exciting. I mean, it's exciting to see a player of his caliber go into the NFC East and just add a jolt, and in a position where you don't think you're going to go top 5 anymore. They did it. Ezekiel Elliott's going to Dallas.
And think about it. This kid's going to a place that might have the very best offensive line in the National Football League. And they will pound you now. They want to do that. They got a division that's going to be up for grabs. Nobody's running away with that thing. This kid right now could get them right back into the playoffs.
Well, we mentioned that Joey Bosa was the highest drafted Buckeye since Orlando Pace in 97, went number 1 overall. That draft, Sean Springs went 3. It's the first time that we've seen Ohio State be part of the top 5 like this. Pick is in. Giants haven't chosen in the top 10 in consecutive drafts since 96, 97. But yet, here it is for them in 2016.
With the 10th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Eli Apple, defensive back, Ohio State.
Wow. Well, I mean, the headline writes itself, the Big Apple. And Eli's going to New York with another Eli, obviously.
Now, understand that Vernon Hargraves is still
Knocked away at the last second. He's hit football fumbled.
Eli Apple, cornerback.
And he's going to be knocked down. Fires up the left side of the field. Intercepted by Eli Apple.
2015 second team All Big Ten.
So that's 3 Buckeyes in the top 10. And Eli Apple's going to the New York Giants. And that secondary.
He's a Jersey kid, too. He's from South Jersey. He's a redshirt sophomore. So he's only 3 years removed from high school. I don't even know if he's 21 years old. He's 6 feet, 200 pounds. He's got all kinds of potential. He's clean off the field. But like a lot of young players without reps, his tape is up and down. He's long, he's fast, he's physical. But I saw some bad tape. I mean, he struggled against Penn State. He struggled giving up points. I forget the other game, but he had some tape that I struggled with, but it's all because of a lack of reps.
And the draft party for the New York Giants going on in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And hey, and if he wants to go and live in New York City, there's a lot of places you can order food in because I've heard he can't cook. And certainly that didn't hurt his draft stock eventually. He's 10th overall, and Urban Meyer is all ear-to-ear grin because that's a 3rd Ohio State Buckeye going in the top 10. Bosa 3rd overall, Elliott 4th overall, Apple 10th overall to the Giants.
With the 16th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Taylor Decker, tackle, Ohio State.
Well, so this young man will now head to the state up north and protect Matthew Stafford, or if he's from Ohio State, he'll have to call him Matthew Stafford. But at any rate, another talented Ohio State Buckeye is a first rounder.
He's found a hole through the end zone.
Taylor Decker, offensive tackle.
Straight ahead, wide open touchdown.
The 2015 Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year.
Takes it to the end zone for a touchdown.
Defense. And so that's the reaction from Detroit Lions fans in their draft party in Allen Park, Michigan. And you nailed this one right on the head there, Mike.
It's a rookie general manager. Bob Quinn came over from New England. It's a really solid pick. And as I started to mention, their starting left tackle, Riley Reese, is in the 5th and last year of his rookie contract. He's been an average left tackle. So this gives them the flexibility to have 2 first-run tackles, or if necessary, kick Taylor over the left tackle next year if they don't re-sign Reed.
Half of the draft is done.
With the 20th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Darren Lee, linebacker, Ohio State.
5th Ohio State Buckeye to go now in this draft. 5 of them. It was 4 of the first 16, 5 of the first 20 Ohio State players. And as a matter of fact, the last time we have seen 4 players from the same school go in the top 16 of a draft was when Florida State had 4 players in that 1997 draft go in the first 16 players. Wow. 5 and 20 has only been done by the 2004 Miami Hurricanes. What a night for Ohio State.
Darren Lee, linebacker. 2015 second team All Big Ten.
Here comes the blitz. Untouched was Darren Lee. Nowhere to go for help.
So, as we look at Darren Lee come to the stage, that means that Ryan Fitzpatrick is still in play for at least one more night. For the Jets, who do not go in the direction of Paxton Lynch, that's a mystery that will continue to play out here on the first night of the draft about where Lynch shows up. But what does Lee bring to the table for the Jets?
He's today's NFL outside linebacker. He's 6'1", 232 pounds. He ran 4.47. And a year ago, when I was doing my homework on last year's draft with their defensive players, I kept saying, who's number 43? He flashed everywhere. So his strengths are he's sideline to sideline. He's a 3-down linebacker. Will be great in your sub packages. His weakness is when you cover him up with a big body, he's going to struggle. Against downhill run teams, he will struggle.
To announce the New Orleans Saints selection, please welcome from the University of Mississippi, the 23rd overall pick in the 2001 draft by the Saints, running back Deuce McAllister.
Now they're saying Deuce. Now they're saying Deuce.
Hokie Gajan, Will Smith, we love you.
Nice. Well done.
With the 47th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Michael Thomas, wide receiver, Ohio State.
All right, Coach. You have the floor.
Mike Thomas is a 6'3", 6'4" player. His greatest strengths are ball skills, and he's a competitive SOB now. In practice, he gets in a fight about twice a week. He goes after the ball. He's a refuse-to-lose kind of player. So I love Mike Thomas, and I think he's going to have a long career in the NFL.
Now, I really enjoyed your pro day, watching him compete in a pair of gym shorts. What stuck out to me was his catching radius. Yeah. Huge.
Every quarterback wants a 6'3", 6'4" wideout.
The radius.
To announce the New Orleans Saints selection, please welcome from the University of California, Berkeley, the Saints 2009 Walter Payton Man of the Year, linebacker Scott Fujita.
And with the 61st pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Von Bell, defensive back from Will Smith's alma mater, Ohio State. Much love to the family of Will Smith back in New Orleans.
Boy, you must have had quite the chat at the Combine with Sean Payton.
Yeah, I'm glad he's going to a winning program because, you know, the Saints will be back on top real soon. What I was telling Mike, what I love about Von Bell is he's got a skill set of a corner. That means how many safeties out there can cover the number 2 receivers. A lot of offenses put their best receiver at that number 2 guy. So he's got a great ball skill, a great worker in practice, and he's got cover skills like a corner.
They drafted Kenny Vaccaro in the first round a couple years ago. They've got Jarvis Bird there. It's a nice situation for him to walk into. Coach, I think he can play inside a little bit in that nickel package too. And at the end of the day, they need to get more athletic on defense, and they just started it right there.
And the Ohio State Buckeyes just tied a record for most picks in a single draft in the common draft era in the first 2 rounds.
And look who they're tied with.
Ah, Tennessee.
To announce the Buffalo Bills selection, please welcome from the University of Louisville, the Bills 2015 Walter Payton Man of the Year, center Eric Wood.
Thank you. With the 80th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Adolphus Washington, defensive tackle, Ohio State.
All right, Coach, you're on.
Well, Adolphus says Ken goes as a defensive end, and he's really got defensive end skill set with a big body, 300-pound interior guy. But the thing he does best is rush a quarterback. He's got great hands, great movement, and he's a relentless pass rusher. He has to get much better against the run, but he's excellent against the pass.
You basically just summarized about 10 pages of notes for me. And I think what he's going to do initially is make a living inside as a nickel rusher. And if you take a look at his tape, here's what you'll see. As Coach said, he's much better against the pass. He's got a sophisticated array of moves. He gets up the field quickly. Now, here's the bench press. Nice job there in the run game on that play. He keeps coming. You saw an inside rip and a spin. A lot of guys, college guys, don't have back-to-back moves. There he goes again. Inside rip, an extra spin. Every once in a while he falls in love with all those moves. But when he just lets it go, from a quickness perspective, there aren't a lot of guys that can block him.
No, he's defensive end skill set playing inside, which is everybody's looking for a guy like that. Yep. Certainly in the third down packages, or as you call them, nickel sub packages.
He's got to hug you and Coach Fickle. He's got to hug you and Coach Fickle for moving him inside. Yeah. You guys made him some money.
Well, that's the 8th Buckeye. 5 last night, 3 tonight.
Now for the fun stuff. With the 85th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, my Houston Texans select Braxton Miller, wide receiver, Ohio State. Congrats, young man. Let's go ball.
There you go, Coach. You've got the floor on him, obviously.
Man, I love this kid. Great skill set. Look at him right there. Great skill set. Back-to-back player of the year in the Big Ten Conference. Obviously, he's a great quarterback, Heisman candidate. A great skill set, great hands. Very elusive player. Top-end speed, is very fast. Dynamic player and a dynamic kid. I love him. Good for him.
You know what I like about him is when you move him the wide out, you could see the athletic ability. That was obvious. But the competitive fire, and I've never met the kid, but it's obvious whether it's on television, on tape, at the pro day, or when I interviewed him, the kid really believes he's going to be the best, and I won't be surprised if he does.
Yeah, and he's got he's probably the best superstar, because he was treated like a superstar around Columbus. No issues whatsoever with him. He's a 3-point student, graduated on time. Was just a great teammate. Our players loved him. He was elected captain 2 or 3 times for us. That tells you how much the team felt about him. I know he's going. I'm sure Mike Vrabel had something to do with that too. Mike Vrabel's on the staff of the Texans.
Right.
And also Coach O'Brien coached against him for a while, so his skill set's outstanding. You're gonna have to teach him the game from out there because he's still a little bit raw.
And it's only fitting in a way, based on him switching the positions and how he handled it, how you handled it, that he's the one that just had you set the record for schools with the most picks in the first 3 rounds in the NFL Draft. 9 Ohio State Buckeyes is Braxton Miller being drafted. Yeah, so you had to get a bigger board. We couldn't fit him.
With the 94th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Nick Vannett, tight end, Ohio State.
Wow.
All right, Coach Myers.
10.
Coach is showing off now. I mean, come on.
You're a high step right now.
Come on, man.
Let's see the board. Hold on. Let's see the board. Let's see all 10 of them now. Let's see how big this thing gets. Let's check it out. Hold on, man. 10. It's just now you're just extending the record. There it is.
Nick Vannett is a made player. His first couple years was very weak and not a great player. His last 2 years, he's been phenomenal. He's worked himself. A guy named Tim Hinton worked with our position coach and did a great job. He's got excellent hands, great size, very good route runner, and I think his future's still way ahead of him. Kind of a late developer.
How does he compare to the kid that went in the third round? Jeff Hireman went to Denver.
Much different player. Jeff Hireman's a point of attack tight end. Yep. He benches 225, 35 times. This guy's more of a movement tight end. He can play point, but he's a movement tight end and an excellent player.
I think he plays faster than he times.
No doubt. He's a very efficient route runner.
All right, with the 102nd pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the San Diego Chargers select Joshua Perry, linebacker, Ohio State.
So Buckeye reading off the 11th Buckeye selected in this draft.
Yeah, who's the guy we talked about in the pre-show that would have been a first-round pick 5 or 6 years ago? Josh Perry. Old school Sam, 37 starts, heavy production. The question is, can he get on the field third down and in sub-packages? Now, his tape is really good. He's a big, strong, downhill guy. He can run sideline to sideline. He's a little bit tight-hipped. Where I see the fit here in their base packages inside. They're a 3-4 base team. Manti Te'o, Denzel Perryman are inside. He'll come in and compete day one for that base inside 34 linebacker job. That's a good pick right there.
Bill, I'm here along with season ticket holder Andrew Crozier here at the 716 in downtown Buffalo to make the 4th round selection for the Buffalo Bills. Andrew Crozier, make the pick.
With the 139th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Cardell Jones, quarterback, Ohio State. Go Bills!
How about this pick? Cardell Jones goes to the Buffalo Bills. Lance, what were your thoughts on Cardell entering the draft? Do you think this is a nice spot for him?
I do think it's a nice spot for him. And, you know, when I saw him on tape, it's the same thing you saw. Inconsistency. You see a guy who doesn't have the accuracy you want, but he's big. And there are times, Bucky, where he makes throws. There's one against Virginia Tech, the first game of the year, where you say, wait a minute, that's Ben Roethlisberger right there. I got to tell you, in this spot, this is where you take a guy like Cardell Jones. And I really like this for Buffalo as a lottery scratch that you think can develop into a big-time player.
You look at their quarterback room. They're trying to take chances, trying to find players who are athletic enough to make some plays, and also he has a big arm. This is a team that is one of the top rushing teams. You're going to be able to really throw the ball down the field, get it to their playmakers. What I like about this pick with Cardell Jones, he's surrounded by good guys, talented guys in Tyrod Taylor. You have Greg Roman, who does a great job of working with athletic quarterbacks. If he's going to hit anywhere, Buffalo certainly is a place for him.
Yeah, I think so.